Native Americans have a long and difficult history when it comes to voting rights in the United States. Although Native Americans were granted citizenship in 1924, they faced a variety of legal and cultural obstacles that prevented them from exercising their right to vote. This article will discuss the history of Native American voting rights, as well as contemporary challenges and initiatives to increase Native American political representation. The earliest attempts to disenfranchise Native Americans began immediately after the American Revolution. In 1790, Congress limited the right to vote to free white men, excluding Native Americans from the political process. This exclusion was formalized in 1802 when the Supreme Court ruled that Native Americans were not citizens and therefore could not vote. This exclusion was further reinforced by state laws in the 19th century that limited voting rights to citizens, and by the passage of the Indian Removal Act of 1830, which forced Native Americans off their ancestral lands. In 1924, Congress granted Native Americans citizenship and the right to vote. However, despite this legal victory, many Native Americans were still prevented from voting due to cultural and political obstacles. Native Americans living on reservations were often excluded from voter registration rolls, and Native Americans living off reservation often faced language barriers and intimidation at the polls. In addition, many states implemented poll taxes and literacy tests specifically targeting Native Americans in order to prevent them from voting. In 1965, the Voting Rights Act was passed, which prohibited states from denying voting rights on the basis of race. This was a major victory for Native Americans, as it removed many of the obstacles that had been preventing them from voting. However, this victory was short-lived, as in 2013 the Supreme Court struck down key provisions of the Voting Rights Act, allowing states to once again target minority voters. Despite these obstacles, Native Americans have made significant progress in increasing their political representation. In 2006, the Native American voting population reached a record high of 2.9 million, representing 1.7% of the total voting population. In recent years, a number of Native American-led initiatives have sought to further increase political representation among Native Americans. The National Congress of American Indians, for example, has been working to improve Native American voter registration and turnout, while the Native Vote campaign has been encouraging Native Americans to run for office. In conclusion, Native Americans have faced a long and difficult struggle to gain the right to vote and to increase their political representation. Despite ongoing challenges, Native American-led initiatives have been successful in increasing voter registration and turnout, and in encouraging more Native Americans to run for office.